السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، فإن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Respected ones in Islam, we welcome you to another section of our class on the book الإنصاف في مسألة الجمع بين الصلاتين. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us tawfiq in whatever we shall be discussing today. Today is the night of Wednesday, which is the 16th of Sha'ban, 1447 years after the migration of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam from Mecca to Medina, which coincides with the 4th of January of February 2027. Is today 4th? The 3rd of February 2026. Now, in our last class, we stopped at page number 25. Inshallah, we're also going to continue from the same page, but under a new subheading, where the compiler said, Al-Rawatibu Ba'da al-Jam'i Bayna al-Salatain. The recommended prayers. The recommended prayers after combining two prayers. You know, there are some prayers that have, preceding recommended prayers. Like Subhi. There is a recommended prayer attached to it, but before the Subhi, we call it Rakata al-Fajr. And then we have some prayers with preceding and after recommended prayers, like Zuhr and Zuhr. Zuhr has preceding prayer, 2 rakah before Zuhr prayer and 4 rakah after, or 4 rakah before and 2 after. Are we together? Isha, Maghrib has only 1, which is after. Isha too has 1, which is after. So here, the author wants to discuss with us those prayers with after nafila. Those prayers with after nafila. Meaning those prayers that after them, there are nawafil. If you combine them, are you still going to do this nawafil? For instance, we have nafila after Zuhr prayer. So now before combining Zuhr and Asr, can I do my nafila after Zuhr prayer? Can I do the nafila of after Zuhr prayer? This is what this question wants to discuss with us. If we combine Maghrib and Isha, can I do my nafila after Maghrib before we do the combination, before we combine the prayer? I hope you understand. Al-Rawatibu Ba'da al-Jam'i Bayna al-Salatayn. What are the recommended prayers after combining the two prayers. أجمع العلماء, the scholars have unanimously agreed على أن سنة الصلاة القبلية, that the recommended prayers by the obligatory ones, that's sunnah mada al-qabliyah, the recommended prayers by the what? Obligatory ones. فإن أفوا أجمع العلماء, the scholars have unanimously agreed على أن سنة الصلاة القبلية, that the recommended prayers before the word obligatory prayers to صلى may be observed حال الجمع بين الصلاتين, when combining what? Two prayers. So that means the nafila before Zuhr, we can do it before we observe Zuhr and then combine Zuhr and what? Asr. The, what do you call it? Which prayer again? Maghrib. The nafila of Maghrib is after. Are we together? So Zuhr prayer, the nafila before Zuhr, you can do it before you do what? You pray Zuhr and then combine prayer. This one, there is no dispute among the scholars. So even if it is already raining, we can quickly do our nafila before we observe Zuhr prayer, and then before we do what? We combine prayer. Are we together? That's what he's saying here, that أجمع العلماء, the scholars have unanimously agreed على أن سنة الصلاة القبلية that the recommended prayers before the obligatory ones to Salah are observed حال الجمع بين الصلاتين, when combining what? Two prayers. ثم اختلفوا في الراتبة البعدية للمجموعة الأولى. However, they differ regarding what? The recommended prayers after the obligatory ones. للمجموعة الأولى, of the first group of the two combined prayers. Of the first group of the two combined what? Prayers. We want to combine Maghrib and Isha. Which one is the first group? Maghrib. So the scholars differ. Are we going to observe the nafila that comes afterwards, Maghrib, before we what? Combine the prayer? وأشار شيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية إلى جوازه. شيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية was indicated its permissibility. Please, are we getting the message? Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah indicated what? Its permissibility. وقال بعدم اشتراط الموالاة بين المجموعتين, and he said that it is not required. He said that what? Succession is not required while combining what? The two groups of what? Of prayer. Because he said this in his expression, إن معنى الجمع, the meaning of combining, هو الضم بالوقت, refers to the union of what? Of time. أي ضم وقت الثانية للأولى, meaning joining the time of the what? Second prayer to the what? To the first prayer. بحيث يكون الوقتان وقتا واحدا, such that the two periods become what? One period. So what is considered in joining prayer is not what? It's not the act of the joining prayer. It's what? It's the time. So if we said it's the time, it's not the act, that means we can still do nafila afterwards, because we are still within what? The time. Is this time the thing should bring to this other time, man? And you are still within the time, so you can still do your nafila. Are we together? وَلَيْسَ الضَّمُّ الْفِعْلِ, Ibn Taymiyyah said it's not joining what? Action. It's joining what? Time. وذكر نصوصا عن الإمام أحمد, and he mentioned some texts from Imam Ahmad تدل على ما ذهب إليه, which indicates what he held of what position. من أنه لا تشترط الموالاة في الجمع بين الصلاتين, that succession is not required while combining what? Two prayers. تقديما, whether what? By way of advancement. كما أن الموالاة just as succession لا تشترط بالجمع بينهما تأخيرا, is not required while combining two prayers in where? By what? By delay. Are we together? Is it clear? Now? So for this masala, the scholars discussed it. The scholars discussed it. Are we together? Shaykh Al-Allama Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymeen rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, he said that you can do the nafila after the compulsory prayer of the first word group, but not immediately after you finish the first group. It is after you have combined the word. You have combined the second group and the first group and the second. For instance, if you combine Maghrib and Isha, and Uthaymeen said you can do your nafila, Maghrib nafila afterwards, Isha, and then you do what? Isha all again. Are we getting it? If you combine Zuhr and Asr, and Uthaymeen said you don't do the nafila after Zuhr, immediately after you finish what? The Zuhr prayer. You do it afterward, Asr. After you have combined the prayer. Are we together? And this is also what Al-Imam al-Nawawi mentioned. If you check Rawdat al-Talibin, Imam al-Nawawi also mentioned this particular view. That this is how a person should observe what? The nafila prayer after the first group among the two groups of prayer he wants to what? Combine. Are we together? But Al-Allama Nasrul Sunnah, Nasruddin al-Albani, when he was asked, he said there is no need. He said you don't combine what? You don't do nafila. You don't do the recommended prayer after the obligatory one. Anytime you want, you combine. He said except Isha. When he was asked what's your reason, he said there is no reason. There is no evidence saying that we should do Maghrib prayer and Maghrib nafila afterward Isha. There is no evidence saying that we should do what? Zuhr nafila afterward after. But he said after you have combined Maghrib and Isha, you can do what? You can do your Isha nafila. I hope you are getting it. He said that there is evidence. Because he said that the Prophet used to go on that surah of nafila at what? At home. So what is known is that the Prophet used to do nafila afterward, after Isha prayer. So you do your nafila after Isha prayer. Are we getting the concept? Let's hear what is better. What is better is that a person should stick to what is known. Do we understand? Don't do nafila afterward. Because al-khuruj, to come out of khilaf, is mustahab. It's a qaida fiqhiyya. When there is dispute, try to bring out yourself from that word. Hence there is dispute, there is difference of opinion regarding that matter, regarding this matter. Just leave the nafila going. Do we understand? Yes. القواعد المتعلقة بالجمع بين الصلاتين. The principles that are connected to combining two prayers. القاعدة الأولى, the first principle is الأصل أداء كل صلاة في وقتها المحدد. Please cancel that towel مربوطة. في وقتها المحدد. الأصل, the primary rule, أداء كل صلاة, is to perform each prayer في وقتها المحدد, at each word specific time. لقوله تعالى, because of the statement of Allah إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا. Verily, prayer is decreed upon the believers, a decree of what? Specified time. This ayah is Surah Al-Nisa, verse 103. هذه الآية الكريمة, this noble verse, تدل على أن القاعدة المستمرة في الصلاة, indicates that the consistent principle in prayer أن تؤدى كل صلاة في وقتها المحدد is that what? Each prayer should be offered at its what? Specific time. So the aslu is that each prayer should be observed as it was. If we are arguing now in the masjid, should we combine prayer or not? What do? We'll go back to the aslu. If there is ikhtilaf in the mosque is divided into two. Some people are saying we must combine prayer. Some people say we will not combine prayer. What do? And there is what argument. We'll just go back to the aslu. What's the aslu? Pray at the time. So we say to Akram Kala, let us all be patient. We will pray at the normal time. Fine? So hold this qaida, don't leave it. Al-qaida al-thaniya. The second qaida, لا يجوز الجمع بين الصلاتين إلا لعذر شرعي. لا يجوز الجمع بين الصلاتين إلا لعذر شرعي. It's not permissible to combine two prayers except for what? A sharialistic word, excuse. You know, the first one is telling us that we should pray at each what? Specific time. So this qaida is telling us that we can combine prayer. But when there is what? Sharialistic evidence. هذه القاعدة, this principle تدل على إباحة الجمع بين الصلاتين, indicates the permissibility of combining two prayers بشرط أن يكون فيه عذر من الأعذار, provided, that's not بشرط, provided that there is an excuse من الأعذار المذكورة among the mentioned word excuses في موضع الأسباب المبيحة للجمع بين الصلاتين, in the position where we talk about the reasons that permit the combination of what? Two prayers. You know, we discussed this. But I'm thinking that this particular expression should be cancelled. Are we getting it? Cancelled بشرط أن يكون فيه عذر شرعي. It's okay. بشرط أن يكون فيه عذر شرعي. Please, cancelled من الأعذار المذكورة. Do we have marker? We don't have. Okay, leave it. Just write يعني بشرط أن يكون فيه عذر شرعي. بشرط أن يكون فيه عذر شرعي. We understand? It's cancelled من الأعذار بشرط أن يكون فيه عذر شرعي. بشرط أن يكون فيه عذر شرعي, provided there is a sharialistic word, excuse. Alright? So we can combine prayer when there is what? Excuse. If there is no excuse, we'll go back to where? Al-Asr. Al-Qaida الثالثة, the third principle, الجمع بين الصلاتين رخصة. Combining two prayers is a concession. Combining two prayers is a what? Concession. Meaning it's a permission that is given to us. وَلَيْسَتْ عَزِيمًا. It is not what? An obligation. It is not an obligation. Are we together? If we understand this, anybody that says he will not combine prayer, are we going to hold that person? We will not hold it negatively. وقد حث النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم على العمل بالرخصة. The Prophet ﷺ had encouraged that one should work with what? Concession. Meaning the permission given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فقال, and he said, إن الله يحب أن تؤتى رخصه كما يكره أن تؤتى معصيته. Indeed, Allah loves Allah loves that His permission is practiced. كما يكره أن تؤتى معصيته, just as He dislikes that disobedience to Him is committed. So it's Allah that gave us this permission. Should we deprive ourselves of the permission? And if there is reason for us to combine prayer, let us combine. We will not listen to what? Anybody that is trying to what? Discourage us. وتطبيق هذه القاعدة, applying this principle, يساعد في حسن المعاملة مع الأئمة, helps in maintaining good conduct with the imams. خاصة especially إذا لم يجمعوا بين الصلاتين, when they choose not to combine what? Two prayers. لأنها تفيد العلم. This is because it clarifies بأن الجمع بين الصلاتين, that combining two prayers, رخصة, is a concession. وصائب الرخصة, and the one entitled to a concession, مخير, is given option بين الأخذ بها, between what? Adopting it, أو الأخذ بالعزيمة, or adhering to what? The original what? Rule. Are we together? Now, they said combining prayer is ruksa, is a permission. So anybody that is giving ruksa, if you are giving ruksa in anything, you have two options. It's either you do the ruksa or you do what you are supposed to do. So if a person chooses any of the two, it should not be what? It should not be blamed. That's what we are trying to establish. فإن القاعدة الرابعة, the fourth principle, الرخص التي فيها الجمع, the concessions that validate combining prayers, manatuha, its legal basis is al-haraj al-zaid, its hardship that exceeds عن الإلزام, the standard obligation, والزائد على المداومة, and exceed the regular demand of persistence. Are we getting the concept? Any hardship that exceeds the hardship of what? Obligation, and the hardship of what you used to do every day. Do you understand? It permits you to combine prayers. You know, if a person wants to go and pray, there's this thing he used to feel in his heart. I don't know if you understand. Once in a while, there's this thing you feel in your heart, this heaviness you feel. Or you want to carry a particular act of ibadah like fasting or something. There's this particular thing you feel in your heart sometimes. Even if sometimes some of us actually feel this. I see there's one load that is what? Thank you. There's something that this thing gets here, it's not that it's compulsory. I don't know if you understand. Sometimes you feel this kind of thing. This hardship also. So they are not talking about this hardship. We're talking about an additional word. Hardship. This prayer we are observing. How many times are we observing it? 5 times. Is it per time? So don't say because don't say to observe prayer every day there is hardship in it. We are not talking about the hardship of you observing prayer every day. We are also not talking about the hardship of what used to come to your mind whenever you want to go and observe prayer sometimes. We are talking about an additional hardship to this particular word. Hardship. Are we together? قال العلماء, the scholar said, كل تكليف لا يخلو من حرج. Every legal obligation is not devoid of hardship. Everything that the Sharia asks you to do is not devoid of what? Hardship. So they are not talking about that particular hardship. They are talking about what? An additional what? Hardship. فالحرج الذي بمعنى الإلزام والتكليف من جهة. The hardship in the sense of obligation, والتكليف and duty من جهة is on one side. You know when you feel when there's this thing that comes to your mind, when you know that this thing is obligatory upon you, and when you know that you are supposed to do this thing, there's this thing that comes to your mind. So it's not that hardship they are talking about. Sheikh said that hardship is on one side. وبمعنى المداومة, and the hardship again in the sense of regularity. من جهة الأخرى is another word. It's on another hand. Are we together? لا صلة له بالأعذار المبيحة للجمع. There is sound مربوطة. لا صلة له بالأعذار المبيحة للجمع. So these two hardships, they are unrelated. بالأعذار المبيحة للجمع, to the excuses that permit what? Combining two prayers. So you cannot use them as excuse now to combine what? لكن إن زاد الحرج عن هذين الأمرين. But if the hardship exceeds these two matters, يعني المجرد المشقة means if it goes beyond mere difficulty, you know, you find that difficulty of going to observe prayers, but that is a mere difficulty. وعن مجرد الإلزام, and also simple obligation, what you feel in your mind that this thing is obligatory upon me, so you use the Jum'a, it's permissible for you to combine prayer. Are we getting it? Please, do we understand it? Now, if you want to go and pray, sometimes there's this thing that you feel. When it comes to your mind that prayer is compulsory upon you, there's this thing that you carry in your mind. That's why some of us, if we have not prayed, we hear some persons will say that it's as if I'm still carrying one load. I hope you are getting it now. It's as if immediately a person who is used to prayer, immediately he finish praying, you hear him say it's as if I just drop, one load. Somebody is carrying load. Where is he? Which state is he? Difficulty and hardship. I hope you are getting it. And again, coming to live every day you leave your house to the masjid, every day, 5 times. Is there no difficulty? Every day, there's no part-time, no holiday, no break, no mid-term break. Every day, there is difficulty. So the author is not talking about these two forms of what? Difficulty. He's talking about an additional difficulty to these two. Do you understand the concept? Like what now? Like when there is mud. There is serious mud. For you to walk, to the masjid, you find it so difficult. This is an additional what? Difficulty. So this what? Too difficult. There is heavy rain. For you to leave your house before you even get to the masjid, your clothes is already soaked completely. This is a difficulty again. In addition to what? The two difficulties. So in this case, a person can combine prayer. فهمنا؟ القاعدة الخامسة, the fifth principle, الجمع بين الصلاتين من المسائل المختلف فيها اختلافا شديدا. This is what we should understand. Combining two prayers is from among the matters concerning which there is what? Strong disagreement among the scholars. That's why if somebody say we will not combine, if somebody say we will combine, we don't insult each other. Because any matter that the scholars differ, we don't correct each other by way of harshness. Do you understand the concept? We correct each other by way of what? Employing softness. مسائل العلم نوعان. مسائل العلم نوعان. The matters of knowledge-based matters are of two types. النوع الأول, the first type, المسائل الاجتهادية. They are the what? Jurisprudential matters. مسائل ماذا؟ الاجتهادية. They are the jurisprudential matters. وهي التي يسوغ الخلاف فيها, and they are those in which disagreement is permissible. Do you understand? The issue of joining prayer, combining prayer now, is it akida matter? Is it matter? Is it? So that means that it's permissible for us to have what? Disagreement. I hope you understand. And that's why there is what? Disagreement in it. ومثل هذه لا يصح, the like of matters like this, or matters like this, لا يصح أن يشنع بعضنا على بعض. It is not appropriate for us to vilify one another. بل يعذر بعضنا بعضا. Rather, we should excuse what? Each other. Or one another. We should excuse one another. But as we are going to excuse one another, we will not explain the truth. But I will not come and say that Kai, well, look at man and Kali, Wallah, he doesn't have knowledge. How will you say that they should combine prayer? Can you imagine that? You know, some people, that's how they do their own rules. With serious insults. That's not how, number one, that's not how they do right. You don't insult people while you are repeating that person. You don't defend people because you don't have problem with the personality of that person. What you have problem with is the what? Is the matter. I hope you are. So it's the matter that you should address. Do you understand the concept? But now, if the matter is the matter that the scholars differ, you don't just come and declare that your own is the correct view. That everybody that is not on your own view is wrong. It should not be listened to. No. You will explain and say that actually I'm thinking based on the available evidence. I'm thinking that this my own view is closer to the truth. I hope you are getting the concept. This is how you address matters that scholars differ. But you see, today, matters that scholars differ. I mean, I'm talking about jurisprudential matters now. Well, like some people even call each other then they are power. I hope you are getting the concept. They will call each other an innovators. May Allah protect us. Sheikh said, النوع الثاني, the second type is المسائل الخلافية. Is issues that does not allow what? Disagreement. وهي التي لا يسوغ الخلاف فيها. There are those issues in which disagreement is not what? Permissible. Like issues of what? Aqidah. Issues of aqidah. Even some issues of fiqh when there is already what? Evidence, ijma'. You don't come and say no. You don't bring your own opinion again. Do we understand? This is how Ibn Taymiyyah actually mentioned it. And also his student Ibn Qayyim actually reported it from Ibn Taymiyyah as it came in his book أعلام الموقعين. والضابط في التفريق بين المسائل, the criterion for distinguishing بين المسائل, between the matters التي يسوغ الخلاف فيها, where disagreement is permissible, والتي لا يسوغ الخلاف فيها, and those matters where disagreement is not permissible. النظر لما عليه سلف هذه الأمة is to look at, what the pious predecessors of this ummah, this nation, were upon. من اختلافهم, regarding their what? Difference. If they differ on a matter, I will say this matter is among what? Khilafiyah. If they did not differ on a matter, I will say this matter, if they differ on a matter, I will say it's Ijtihadiyah. If they did not differ, I will say it's what? Khilafiyah. Telling us that there is no difference of opinion. There is no disagreement in it. So it is from the Salaf that we know, not from today's Mala. Do you understand? Our measuring scale is to look at what? The Salaf. Any matter the Salaf differ on, so it's part of the matter that we can differ on. Any matter that they did not differ on is part of the matter that we should know what. Sheikh said, that Salaf Ahlul Ilmi fi mas'alatin, if the scholars differ on a matter, ala qawlayn, into two words, views, أو أكثر or more, فتكون من المسائل التي يسوغ الخلاف فيها, then it is considered a matter where what? Disagreement is permissible. وإذا لم يختلفوا, but if they did not differ, فهي من المسائل التي لا يسوغ الخلاف فيها, and it is considered as what? Matters that what? Disagreement is not what? Permissible. وقد كان سلفنا الكرام من الصحابة والتابعين يفتون في مسائل العلم. Our noble pious predecessors, ranging from the companions and their successors, used to give verdict on what? Scholarly matters. That's مسائل العلم, scholarly matters. ويخالف أحدهم الآخر, and one of them will oppose what? The other. بدليله الشرعي, with its what? Shariatic evidence. ويبقون إخوة, and they will remain brothers, يتعاونون على البر والتقوى, helping one another upon what? Righteousness and piety. But today, if we argue single argument on masail, al-Ijtihadiyya will separate us. A masjid that is calling to a salat of very known first, and the one that is calling second, if they argue, that's all. Cool? Are we together? Some persons that after they rise from ruku, they will place their hands on where? Why some they will not place? If arguments occur between both of them, that's why they will not talk again. Some people used to go to sujood with their knees. Why some go with their what? If arguments come, they will not talk again. This is lack of understanding of the deen. These are jurisprudential matters. كما قال الشافعي الإمام الشافعي رحمه الله لأن حضر شيخون مثال ألا يستقيم أن تكون إخوانا أن نكون إخوانا ألا يستقيم أن نكون إخوانا. Is it not appropriate that we are brothers وإن لم نتفق في مسألة, even if we disagree on a matter? وهذا في المسائل التي يسوغ الخلاف فيها. But this statement of Imam Shafi'i is regarding what? Matters that is permissible to what? To disagree. والناس في هذا من حيث الجملة على طرفي نقيض. People regarding this matter fall into two opposite what? Extreme paths. People in general regarding these two matters fall into what? Two opposite what? Extreme paths. Regarding the matter that is permissible for us to disagree and the matter that is not permissible for us to. Al-Qism al-Awwal, the first group, يدعو إلى الإعذار, calls for excuse or calls for what? Excusing others. في جميع مسائل الشرعية, on all the matters of the Sharia. فيما يسوغ الخلاف فيه, both those where disagreement is permissible وما لا يسوغ الخلاف فيه, and those where disagreement is not permissible. حتى أجر في مسائل الاعتقاد, such that to the point of granting excuse في مسائل الاعتقاد on the matters of what aqidah, what tawhid and tawhid, what shirk and also what shirk. On these matters we don't grant what excuse. Anybody who has problem with aqidah, we will refute that person. I hope they are getting it. Like this Munkiru Sunnah, all these Munkiru Sunnah in local Jaya that are preaching against Sunnah, do we excuse them? Do we say they should give them excuse? No. We preach against them. I hope they are getting it. We talk against them in harsh manner. That what they are doing is what? Is dalal. It's misguidance. They are upon deviation. They are not upon the right path. If they did not repent and leave that path, we are afraid that Allah may take them to the task on the day of Qiyamah. And some of these prayer warriors that are doing shirk about, do we leave them like that? La. We talk against them by saying what they are doing is shirk. And if they die upon it, they are going to hellfire. إنه من يشرك بالله قد حرم الله عليه وقد حرم عليه الجنة. Do we understand? We are not Ikhwan al-Muslimin. We are the ones that say let us go together. The Ikhwan al-Muslimin, they say let's flow together. Everybody come. Let us unite upon what unites us, and let us excuse one another on what we work on the issues that we differ. I hope you are getting it. And the Sururiyun too, they have share from this particular word, this particular madhab. I hope you are getting it. I say Sururi, you might be doing something, you will not, as long as both of you are together. May Allah protect us. Al-Qism al-Thani, the second word, category. شددوا في المسائل التي يسوغ الخلاف فيها. Not يسوغ. شددوا. They are harsh. They went what? Extreme. Regarding the matters where disagreement is permissible. بأن يلزموا الناس بأقوالهم, by compelling people to hold on to their own words, their view. ويشنعوا عليهم, and they denounce people who oppose their view. وهذا خطأ. This is what? A mistake. Just like I said, if somebody says after ruku, you will not put his hand on his chest. You that are putting your hand on your chest, don't look at that person and say it's a muqtada. He too should not look at you and say you are a what? There's khilaf. Cool? You that are going with your knee, somebody should not look, so somebody that is going with his palm should not say, are you a woman? Because that's what they used to tell us before. That what differentiates men and women. There are some things that differentiate men and women in prayer. Part of those things is that women, they will go with their knees, while men will go with their what? May Allah continue to guide us. وَالْوَاجِبَ أَنْ يَكُونَ وَسَطًا. What is compulsory is that the person should be moderate, بِلَا إِفْرَاطٍ وَلَا تَفْرِيطٍ, without extremism or negligence. Without extremism regarding the matters that we can argue, go. Without negligence regarding the matter that what? No argument, no dispute. I mean, فإذا كانت المسألة مما يسوغ الخلاف فيها, if the matter is a matter that is permissible to disagree in, فلا يشنع بعضنا بعضا, we should not vilify one another, we should not denounce one another. بل كل يبدي ما ظهر له بدليله الشرعي. Rather, everybody should display what is apparent to him, which is what? Shariatic evidence. You say me there according to my own view. I'm thinking that this one is what? Closer, because look at the evidence, look at the evidence. The other person too, according to, let's say, my own view, I'm thinking that this is closer, look at the evidence, look at the evidence. This is how we should discuss issues like this. The khilaf al-masail التي لا يسوغ الخلاف فيها, contrary to the matters which what? It's not permissible to disagree in. That one, nobody will not give you a chance to say that, like now, somebody is saying that there is different, anybody, a person says that anybody that checks with subha, with tasbih, is not a mushrik. But anybody that checks with oracle, do you understand? Is a mushrik. Are we going to say, let's listen to, what are we going to listen to? We just enter in with our evidence before. Allah, both of them, they are what? They are the same. فهمنا؟ وكان ذكر شيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية رحمه الله, may Allah have mercy upon him, al-ijma' mentioned the consensus of the scholars regarding this analysis. Mentioned the consensus of the scholars على عدم جواز إلزام الناس بالمسائل الاجتهادية, regarding the non-permissibility of what? Compelling people to adhere to, compelling people to adhere to your view regarding what? Jurisprudential matters. He mentioned this in different places, كما في مجموع الفتاوى, as it came in his book مجموع الفتاوى. Inshallah ta'ala, we are going to stop here. Whatever I said that is wrong, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me. Whatever I said that is correct, may Allah reward all of us abundantly. هذا والله الموفق والهادي إلى سواء السبيل. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن والاه. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.